You know.
Oh yeah, and adjust it until you feel it smooth out. Ready? Yup, that's me. You're probably wondering why the car we've been working on for 17 months is on fire. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the scrappiest day on earth. It is time, everybody. It is time. It has taken 17 months to get to this point, but it is now time, ladies and gents. It's now time to experience Scrappy Boy's first breath. There's a couple things we need to do still and a couple things we need to check before we can turn the key. One of those things we need to do is the spark plug wires, and speaking of spark plug wires, look at that. Michael Sanchez sent us the fanciest set of crimpers we've ever had. And because of these new crimpers, look how fast we can work. 3, 2, 1. See, all of our spark plug wires are done. So in order for our Phytech unit to properly know what's up, we need to add an O2 bung. I simply drilled a 7/8 hole into our turn down pipe, and I know I had a couple comments regarding the location of the O2 sensor. Some people were suggesting putting it right in between on an H pipe or in the center of the X on an X pipe. But Phytech very much recommends for the O2 sensor to be placed 2 to 4 inches after the merge collector, which is this part right here of a set of headers. Obviously ours are down there, this is just an example. But yeah, 2 to 4 inches away from that merge collector right there. And I used their included gasket and O2 bung kit in order to not have to weld it in place. We are going to weld it in place, but we'll save that for when we make the actual exhaust. This was just for startup reasons. And yes, you did see that correctly. We only have one O2 sensor on the right bank. Oh no, how is it properly gonna know what both banks are doing? Well, it is one throttle body feeding all 8 cylinders, so odds are the right side is doing the same thing as the left side. That's the way the Phytech engineers decided it should work, so that's how we're doing it. But we're not done yet, because did anybody notice this pipe down here? Yeah, you saw that right. I know some of you mentioned doing fender exhaust, fender exit exhaust. So once again, the O2 sensor needed to be 2 to 4 inches away from the merge collector, but it also needed 18 inches after the O2 sensor to the exhaust tip to prevent oxygen contamination. Say if we didn't add this pipe and we maybe had 2 inches after the O2 sensor, then a lot of air would come inwards and we would get false readings. Either way, I think I want that to be the permanent location once we do fab up the exhaust. It's kind of out of the way, there's enough space there. And the thing I've been dying to do is the initial setup on the Phytech handheld, which is pretty damn easy if I do say so myself. We're gonna go to EFI setup, engine setup. Right here, we're going to populate everything we do. So 8 cylinders, correct. Cubic inches, we're gonna change that to 306 since it has been bored out. Send that to the ECU. I don't have too much information on the installed cam. I know it was a custom grind cam, so we're just gonna guess number 2. Rev limit 5,500. For the idle, I think we'll set it to 750 warm. We'll see how it likes it, and then we can adjust accordingly. Everything else looks good. We're just gonna save this information and we're all set. We can also go in here and adjust our fan settings, which we already did. That's just gonna tell the fans when to kick on and when to turn off. All right, before we get started, we're gonna introduce the crew, the boys that are helping me out today. Where the? I've known this man for a couple years. He just showed up one time at my house and never left. But that's the boy. Known this guy since we were like 10 years old. I didn't really talk to him because he kind of creeped me out a little bit, but we've done some really sketchy shit together, like taking out a pack rat infested engine out of the junkyard in 100-degree weather. That was fun. It's always some sketchy stuff with this guy.
Yeah.
No, this right here is my first boyfriend.
Only.
He's blown up how much engine so far?
3.
And I chose this crew specifically because all 3 of them have blown up engines before, and And who better to have watch over my engine than people who know what it's like to blow up engines, right?
Yeah, we're here to shit up.
We're here to
All right, and they're doing most of the heavy lifting because Doc just took out a couple pieces of kidney. So I'm a little sore and a little tender, so we're gonna leave the heavy lifting to those guys. The way we're gonna prime the engine is we're gonna rotate the oil pump with this contraption we're about to make. We're taping it because if we drop this, then we have to rebuild the entire engine. Before we start it, this is just gonna push oil through all the galleys, and I don't wanna stop until I get oil to every single one of the rockers. It's gonna pump it all the way from the bottom, all the way through the galleys, through the hydraulic lifters, or through the roller lifters, and then up to the rockers. Oh, yeah, I feel pressure now. I see oil coming out of these. Yeah, nice. Any dry ones?
Hold on.
These are all.
We're waiting for 2 on this side.
And we got our vitals for the engine right over here. We have our oil pressure zip tied to the fender right here. And then the FiTech unit's gonna tell us our RPM, coolant temp, IACs, and yeah, just the important stuff. I think it's time to get cracking, right? Oh, I'm nervous. Who's gonna get in there and turn the key? All right, so the boys are finishing up the last steps, putting on the valve covers and getting everything sealed up. We're moments away. Ugh. It just started raining, so we're gonna get going here. You're gonna turn the key 1 click, and then it's gonna prime. It's gonna do the thing. Clear prop. Oh, no sound of fire. You wanna rotate the dizzy while you're right there? Try it again, and then just move it. See wherever our timing is.
Oh, right?
Yeah. Then other way.
Do you have the engine grounded to the body?
All right, so we got a quick little ground. Clear prop.
Ready?
Yeah. Okay.
No spark plug tester? Not like.
You turn the key to the on position.
On?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. We got voltage.
Yeah, we're getting voltage there. Any ideas, guys? You can see smoke coming out of all of our heads.
Out.
Yeah.
You're good. Yeah, no spark.
Turn it off. April, I could kiss you right now, dude. After 3 hours of cranking, we got 8 pretty good fouled plugs.
Working better now.
Yeah, it's liking that way, huh?
Let me tighten this just so you know.
Oh yeah, and adjust it until you feel it smooth out. Ready?
Go ahead. We're f***ing quick! Oh! We started hopping and popping!
No hesitation, bro. And fucking burnt through the hose for the pressure gauge. God damn it.
What was it resting on the header?
Yeah.
I fucking squirted.
Yeah, I moved
Like a
it.
fucking
I
zombie.
moved it and
You
it
got me
fucking-
too. Well, that was a shit show. The scrappy boy went through the ringer today. We cranked it for about 3 hours before any signs of life. And yes, it was due to my mistakes. And we wouldn't notice any signs of life. It would not kick, it wouldn't even stumble, nothing would happen other than cranks. So we were assuming there was a spark issue. And boy, was there a spark issue. My boy Abel discovered that the distributor ground was grounded to the chassis and not to the negative terminal on the ignition coil. And that's not the only issue with spark that we were having. He also noticed that I had misplaced cylinder number 3 and 8, so they were swapped. So when number 3 was supposed to fire, 8 was actually firing, and when 8 was supposed to fire, 3 was firing. Poor Stang, but at the end, she came through. Once all those ground and wiring issues were sorted, this thing fired right up and started running under its own power. The FiTech unit, of course, started learning and mapping itself to this application, and maybe a minute after everything was good and everything was running smoothly, disaster happened. The oil pressure sensor that was put right here in order to monitor the vitals is connected to this plastic line that therefore goes to the oil pressure sending unit. This line ended up getting a little too close to the exhaust and melted it and started squirting oil everywhere. That was 100% preventable. I could have just zip tied it out of the way, but that's just how it goes. I can't expect it to be perfect every time. There's a million pieces involved. It reminded me of the first break-in video we did on this channel for our 289 engine rebuild, and we had similar issues. Vacuum ports that were loose, cranking forever because it wasn't running right due to those vacuum leaks. Neutral safety switch, it happens. Also, I never grounded the engine to the body, so I had to make this quick ground strap. And let's not forget the fire. You see, while we were all scrambling trying to find the no spark issue, we kept taking out the distributor and skipping a tooth because we thought we were one tooth off. And within that mix, we ended up losing the timing that we had. So I don't know how, but we ended up 180 degrees off, causing that backfire towards the carb. And our boy Arturo kept saying before we even started, hey, should we get a fire extinguisher? And while we were at the store, he said, should we get a fire extinguisher? So once I saw that giant fireball in my face, Arturo's voice came into my head and said, fire extinguisher. Luckily, me and Raf immediately started huffing and puffing with our lungs of steel and got the fire out. But like my wife was saying, it's not to discredit the 17 months of work that we've been doing here. We've made it this far. And that brings me to my next point. There are 11,695 of you that have followed and subscribed this channel for a car that hadn't even run yet. Holy freaking crap. I hope to keep entertaining you guys for the days to come. In the next video, we will address all of those issues so we can give it a proper run cycle. Hopefully we can get the fans to even kick on. I'm hoping we could get it to run for around 20 to 30 minutes. And most importantly, shout out to the boys that gave up their Sunday to come help us out today. I knew Abel would be a good member on our team today because his problem-solving skills are unmatched. Raf, you guys have seen before on our previous first start video for our last project like 5 years ago. Shout out to Raf for spotting that oil leak that squirted both of us in the face. And shout out to my boy Arturo and my wife for being on the cam while I was too busy with the first start and making sure everything was okay. I really couldn't have done it without today's team. They stood outside for the longest time in the hot Arizona sun. So thank you. And also thank you guys, the viewers, for being part of this build for so long. Things only just got exciting. Once we get this thing running, we have a world of content to provide to you guys. With that being said, thank you guys for hanging out. We'll see you on the next one. So, me and the crew are chilling now. What did you think of the first start?
Let's see it. She ran nice, pretty consistent idle. The first time it ran, it was misfiring. Angel did put the spark plug wires on in the wrong order. He probably won't tell you guys that, and I will.
It's funny because you think that's gonna make it onto the video. You know, I edit them, right?
Yeah, I know.
What did you think about the first start?
There's a lot of things wrong.
Yeah, and this guy was the one that found the main issues. The baby found the other issues. What did you think about the first start?
After we got everything where it needed to be, it idled really nice. It was loud, it sounds mean.
What did you think about the first start?
I thought it was perfect and loud.
All right.
Really loud.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.